Welcome to part 2, Moteri, of our Reckless reading text. Today we're going to find the main idea in a paragraph, and we're going to look at not just the main idea in one paragraph, but in the whole text as a whole. So let's look at what main idea is. So we're trying to work out what the story is mostly about, and there's lots of ways we can do this. We need to infer, and we use some different things to get the clues about inferring. We look at who the main character is, the problem, the solution. We hunt around and find any words or pictures that can be repeated. We think about what the most important idea has been when we read, and sometimes the main idea can actually even be in the first and or the last sentence. So, what is this text mostly about? Let's carry on the story. Remember, Cain has been walking home from school. He's been dawdling. He's seen some people swimming in the fish feeding area out along the bay, and he decided he'll do something about it. A few more strokes and Cain turned again. "Hey!" he called. Cain pulled on the oars. "Hey!" he called louder, this time in waving. Now the father raised his arm to wave back. Cain took a deep breath. "Sharks!" he yelled. He chopped straight arms together like jaws. "Sharks! There!" At first Cain didn't think they'd understood. Then he saw the father point back to the launch, heard the bark in his voice. The family swam rapidly for the diving platform. Cain watched as they climbed out of the water, the kids hugging themselves with their thin arms. The mother quick with towels. Cain let out a long breath. They were okay. Then the father cupped his hands and called, "Are you sure?" "Real sure," Cain yelled back. "Feeding spot," he added. The father nodded. For the rest of the text, now that I've got you started, I'd like you to read it by yourselves. Remember to use the context clues that we learnt yesterday about definition, looking for synonyms, extra description, maybe some antonyms for words that you're not sure about. So pause the video on each page as they go through and read through it all together. So did the end of the story surprise you? It kind of surprised me. I wasn't quite ready for that. What we're going to do now is we're going to practice using our main idea strategies in different paragraphs. So the first main idea strategies we're looking at is looking at the main character, the problem, and the solution. And this is the paragraph we're going to look at. You could see the father standing on the diving platform, hands on hips. He's probably trying to work out whether Cain had been telling the truth. Just chuck some fish scraps over, Cain thought. So who's the main character? Well, we know that that's Cain. What is the problem? Well, he was probably trying to work out whether Cain had been telling the truth. So that's the problem. And see if I can move it. What is the solution? Well, the solution in there is just chuck some fish scraps over. So what do we think the main idea of this sentence is? How about you pause the video and see if you can work it out yourself? Here we go. What did you think? Well, I thought this main paragraph was a bit about mistrust. The father didn't know whether to believe Cain or not, and it cast doubt on Cain's decision to go in, or his message. Here's another paragraph. Let's see if we can use the main idea strategies of finding repeated words or pictures and thinking about what is the most important idea or thought. So here's our paragraph. At first, Cain didn't think they understood. Then he saw the father point back to the launch, heard the bark in his voice. The family swam rapidly for the diving platform. Cain watched as they climbed out of the water, the kids hugging themselves with thin arms, the mother quick with the towels. Cain let out a long breath. They were okay. So pause the video and see if you can discover any repeated words and whether you can work out what an important idea of thought is in this paragraph. So well, I was thinking when I did this that you could find the word rapidly and quick. So these synonyms are quite similar synonyms, aren't they? So I think I've taken those as my repeated words. An important idea is this sentence here, that he saw the father point back to the launch and heard the bark in his voice. It sounds very urgent. It's very urgent what the father's saying. So to me, that gives me the idea that it is an urgent paragraph. It's about getting somewhere fast. Here's our last one. Sometimes the main idea is in the first or last sentence. But when he got home, his father didn't want to know. He sat there in his work socks and shorts, holding up a wide hand, killing the streams of words from Cain's mouth, just like the wind on the shore. First sentence, his father didn't want to know. Did you work that one out? Then, can you see the highlighted light green sentence? Holding up a wide hand, killing the stream of words from Cain's mouth. It kind of describes more about how his father did that. He was holding up his hand. I don't want to know. And then there's a link back to a very, very beginning part of the story. Just like the wind on the shore. Remember, Cain was trying to tell the people who were swimming about the sharks, and the wind took away his voice. His father holding up his hand has taken away Cain's voice again. Oops, here we go. So what is the main idea in the entire story? I'm having trouble finding my stuff here. So we can use the title, first sentence, character, problem, solution, and repeated words to work our way through what is this whole story. What is the author trying to tell us? What is the main idea? So first sentence, Cain took the long way home from school. Around the bay he dragged his feet, putting it off as long as he could. And we know the title is Reckless. The characters, Cain, and the problem was a visiting family was swimming in the shark feeding area. So Cain sorted out that problem by he rowed them out and he told them that there were sharks. And there's lots of words with lots of synonyms coming through. Worried, fear, stupid, unreliable, reckless, and of course, sharks. We know that the last sentence said the dad frowned at him. When are you going to step up, son? There's quite a lot I've put in there, but I felt I needed to include all of that. Stop the video for a little moment and read through that all and think about what your main idea was. I had to think, and for me, the main idea was that people aren't always what we think they are. And sometimes we are not who we think we are. Did you kind of get that? Did you have that idea? It's okay if your idea was a little bit different. I developed my thinking a little bit more. Maybe you were thinking like that too. We need to be prepared to hear people out and be prepared to look for the best in others. And sometimes we even surprise ourselves like Cain did. So when we want to know the main idea about a text, we need to look at all these things. The character, the problem, the solution. There's words that are repeated, important ideas or thoughts, and sometimes it's even in the first or last sentence. But mostly we have to ask ourselves, what is this text mostly about? This is deep level thinking. This is level 3 thinking. This is what we need to do. So I have got a follow-up activity on Google Classroom for you to do, very similar to what we did last time. Hope to see you there.